Graced with Spanish moss and Southern charm, Georgia's oldest city is perched by the waters of the Savannah River, which glide eastward towards the North Atlantic Ocean. Just a 2-hour flight south of New York, Savannah greets travelers with open arms. It charms all who come with historic splendor, bewitching tales, natural delights, and Southern comfort flavors. Welcome to the hostess city of the South. In 1733, a group of carefully selected settlers, led by James Oglethorpe, embarked on an epic voyage across the Atlantic to establish the colony of Georgia. They found the perfect location for their new colonial capital 17 miles inland from the mouth of the Savannah River. In one of the earliest examples of Southern hospitality, the settlers were welcomed peacefully by the native Yamacraw tribe. The new township thrived, free of the bloodshed which had stained the beginnings of many American colonies. Dreaming of a new world utopia, Oglethorpe envisioned a city overflowing with lush open squares. These generous green spaces are where the city comes to breathe and have earned Savannah its second nickname, the Forest City. Start your journey in Savannah's historic downtown, where one of these iconic squares is never more than a 5-minute walk away. Each is an oasis of natural gifts, from the sweet aroma of magnolia and crepe myrtle to the ethereal beauty of ancient oaks. Just as the city's oaks are festooned with Spanish moss, so too are her streets embedded with stories. Admire the exhibits at the Savannah History Museum, where treasures from the past bring Georgia's last 3 centuries to life. Savannah's history is not confined to its many museums. It's alive in the bustling laneways and courtyards of City Market, a hub of modern Southern style. Despite a culture of revitalization, many of the city's historic houses have been lovingly preserved. Visit Davenport House, saved from the developer's wrecking ball in the 1950s by the determined ladies of the historic Savannah Foundation. Tucked away in a leafy corner of Oglethorpe Square is Owens Thomas House and slave quarters. Wander the extravagantly furnished halls and learn about Savannah's upper class, whose wealth was built on the toil of enslaved men, women, and children. Then step inside the humble slave quarters for a glimpse into the injustices suffered by the black people who were imprisoned here. Finally, call into the Telfair Academy, a fine example of 1820s grandeur, which became the very first art museum in the South. The historic heart of Savannah is a vibrant melting pot of past and present. Wander along River Street, cobbled with ballast stones, which arrived in the bellies of trading vessels from across the globe. Today, funky restaurants, breweries, and shops have taken up residence in the cotton warehouses of old. If If you like your southern fare served with a side of spooky, weigh anchor and drift on over to Pirate's House, Savannah's oldest building. Once frequented by rowdy seafarers and unsavory characters, today the tavern continues to serve thirsty travelers and lovers of ghost stories. Tales of paranormal oddities abound in the city of Savannah. Take a horse-drawn carriage to Laurel Grove Cemetery, where restless spirits are said to lurk among the headstones. Moss-laden crypts and mausoleums can also be found at the Bonaventure Cemetery, made famous by the best-selling novel Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Pay your respects at the hauntingly sweet burial site of Little Gracie, where they say the child spirit plays with toys left at her grave. But fear not. Despite reports of ghostly apparitions, Savannah knows how to soothe travelers with comfort food. Share a meal of home-style Southern fare with neighbors and strangers at the communal tables of Mrs. Wilkes' dining room. Then head to Leopold's and savor a scoop of creamy goodness from a 100-year-old ice cream parlor. Once your belly is full, continue your historic buffet 3 miles east of the city at Old Fort Jackson, a Confederate bastion during the Civil War. Travel further east to hear the crack of the 19th century cannon fire at Fort Pulaski National Monument, a Civil War stronghold overrun by Union troops after a grueling 30-hour siege. After experiencing the gun smoke of Civil War history, cool off at nearby Tybee Island, a popular weekend getaway for generations of Georgian families. On your way back to the city, be sure to stop at the Wormslow Historic Site. Cruise down the Avenue of Oaks, then explore the tabby ruins of the estate of Noble Jones, one of Georgia's earliest colonists. Back in Savannah's downtown, soak up the burgeoning creative scene in the Starland District. This area is also home to the Forest City's 30-acre green gem, Forsyth Park, where the waters of the city's symbol sing their timeless song to all who pass. So come, traveler, come to a destination which opens its arms in welcome. Be embraced by the hostess city of the South. Eat of her bounty. Be swept up in her stories and fall in love with her irresistible Southern charms. Chances are you'll want to linger here for a while.
To achieve something that has never been achieved, you have to do something nobody has done before. Mercedes is the inventor of the automobile, and today we're making history again. This has been one of our biggest challenges ever. We will prove that we can drive 1,000 kilometers on a single charge.
Vision EQXX and Mission XX are part of a much bigger, far-reaching technology program that will change the way we think.
Our goal was to develop the most efficient drivetrain, which for an engineer is clear is the most efficient car ever built.
But this is the first time that we've created something that will actually hit the road and start breaking records.
The Mission XX would show the world that we deliver on our promise. So Vision EQXX is not just a show car program. It's a complete transformation of R&D process of Mercedes-Benz.
Ich glaube, es ist ein historischer Moment für uns alle. Heute kommt es drauf an.
Wir checken alle Systeme und dann geht's los.
Dann starten wir pünktlich um 7 Uhr in 3, 2, 1.
Losfahren bitte. Gute Fahrt nach Paris.
We started in uncharted territory, something we had never experienced before, so we all had sleepless nights.
There's no certainties. You can never be 100%. Those unknowns, they can bite you. So 100% can't say that. Am I confident we'll make it? Yeah, I'm confident we'll make it.
We did all the measurements, we ran all the data, all the simulations. I think we'll make it.
When we set out to achieve things, we do it, we go for it.
But it can happen anything.
Traffic, weather, unexpected events. Much like in racing, you approach it and be as well prepared as you can. But it's the unknowns, it's the surprises, and we'll have to react to those.
We are hoping for good weather. It doesn't look all sunshine right now. We hope we don't have snow in the Alps, because we want to run in summer tires. Yeah, weather has a big impact.
Well, if you want to jump far, you have to come up with crazy ideas.
Doing the impossible thing of building an entire vehicle within 18 months, putting the thing on the road and then driving 1,000 kilometers, we're going to do this.
When the EQXX is on the road, we have the EMMA, which is an EQP with the EQXX drivetrain, running in parallel, so we can always compare the data from the EQXX with our data on the test bench.
There was a lot of time pressure and of course different targets that every group had, and we had to bring them into one product that worked.
It's a very, very fine line between success and failure. And we have to gauge how hard we can push our development really to hit those targets before you fall off the edge of a cliff and it's a disaster.
Wir haben hier eine kleine Auffälligkeit auf unserem Dashboard.
Also in der ersten Hälfte der Fahrt heute ist der DC-DC-Wandler ausgestiegen. In dem Moment, wo der aussteigt, fängt unsere 12-Volt-Batterie an, langsam leer zu laufen. Das heißt, die Uhr tickt.
Also es ist jetzt die Idee, den DC-DC-Wandler während der Fahrt wieder zu aktivieren.
Er startet zwar neu, aber der DC-DC kommt nicht.
Wir haben auf Anhieb keinen Erfolg bei der Problemlösung.
We had conflict. With targets this ambitious, it's inevitable. How we dealt with that as a team was essential.
Ich kann es nochmal probieren. Achtung, jetzt rein. Okay, wir haben einen kompletten Zündungslauf gemacht. DC-DC ist wieder...
This mission is a huge challenge for our drivers. I feel they are totally excited and at some point really, really nervous to bring the Mission XX home.
The biggest challenge for the aerodynamicists was definitely to reach the target of a drag coefficient of 0.17.
To drive 1,000 kilometers, we could have put a really big battery in the car, but that's not smart. It's certainly not innovative.
A standard battery electric car has an efficiency around 90%. The EQXX reaches the incredible number of 95%, which is on Formula E level.
In Formula One, we're used to chasing performance and efficiency relentlessly. That mindset is very much what we took for EQXX, chasing the ultimate efficiency.
One success factor was to bring diverse cross-functional teams like the Formula One team together with the Stuttgart-Sindelfingen team to make this project happen. The engineers in Sindelfingen worked closely with the F1 experts in the UK. They bounced ideas off one another, left no stone unturned.
The route profile was very diverse. Started here in Sindelfingen and went on the Autobahn up to 140 kilometers an hour. Then we went into the Alps, over the Goddard with steep slopes. And in the mountains you have a lot of recuperation you can use when you go down then to Milan. Die EQXX, du kannst es echt laufen lassen.
Verbrauch ist 8,5 Megawert.
Then it got sunny and we could use our solar panel. And then finally, when you drive down to Cassis, you have very small, beautiful routes. And you enter this little town in the harbor.
8. Also ich zähle die Nachkommastelle. Wir sind jetzt bei 8. 9. 1000 Kilometer.
Going past the 1,000 kilometer mark, we were just thankful and proud. Proud of the car, proud of the team.
I must say I'm not surprised. I knew we were going to make it. It's a confirmation of everything that we stand for and do here in this company. It's proof of the absolute amazing talents that we have the privilege of working with.
And it was really one of those moments in life which you just want to keep and secure in your mind.
That was a moment of pure and strong satisfaction.
We did it! We did it!
I'm so proud of the team achievement here. Everybody contributed here and we made it happen and we created the future of Mercedes-Benz.
The teamwork, the morale, the spirit has been outstanding. With the road relevance now for electrification, I think that model is cornerstone of how we should work in the future.
Failure was not an option for us.
We were there to succeed.
And we did.
But the journey has just begun.
Well, it's now time for the top 5 of the day here on opening day of competition. Coming in at number 5 on the list, Jack Robinson. Fresh haircut, had to fix it a couple of times. Still in rhythm after back-to-back events with this lethal combo he threw down this morning.
Oh, just insane aggression coming through. Going for those airs right off the start as well and putting all that risk in and reaping the rewards. So cool to see Jack roll into competition feeling like he's just got all that momentum. It's tough to back up a win. He's already done that. Now, maybe he can do it for a 3rd time.
Incredible performance there. Number 4, 5-time world champ Carissa Moore opens up really strong in the elimination round.
I wanted more, and we got more because she took the long road to the quarterfinals, had to surf her way through the elimination round. And you know what? I think this was some warm-up time for Carissa Moore because she just took it to Punta Roca, Joe.
I felt like she was just getting a nice steady warm-up through the opening round, lost to Courtney, then dealt with the wild card, Tia Blanco, and just had a nice, easy, controlled pace. Great wave selection. Carissa Moore, world number 1, into the quarterfinals. Number 3, Shannon, on the daily top 5. Medina on fire.
Oh, just finding his way on a great-looking right-hand point break for the 3-time world champion to be showing that he's got a lot of aggression in the tank. He's ready to show up, coming back at G-Land now, putting together a solid performance here for a 2nd event of the year. It's a really exciting, dangerous thing to see, I think, for the rest of the pack.
It really is. He's so spontaneous, he's powerful, everything he performs on a wave doesn't ever feel pre-planned. He had a really solid blitz on the backhand today, earning that spot in the top 5. I don't know, Kaipo, it's a lot of goofy foots at the top of our list on the top 5 today. You got to be proud of that. Caroline Marks comes in at number 2.
Oh, I love it. Marksy, like I said, Caralupo returning, happy, and just showing that backhand that we've all had appreciated. We saw earlier cool hand Luke Egan's here with her, but just this approach from Caroline, and the fact that I see her smiling and happy to be back in competition, that is really rewarding. And so a happy surfer, an in-tune surfer, that's a dangerous surfer when it comes to competition.
Oh, it's so cool. I mean, after all that time off, you tend to worry about her. She's such a wonderful human being. You wonder when she's coming back. She delayed it even further at G-Land. So a much anticipated return to the jersey for Caroline Marks, who's already been in a title race, who's won events. I feel like she's ready to win another one, Shannon.
Oh, she's right there, right on it.
Number 1 on the top 5, Shannon, Yago Dora.
Pushing the limits, going into the air, negotiated such a challenging section to link it up for this one. That tail was so insanely high, Kaipo, I can't believe it.
Yago Dora's just like, I don't need priority, here we go. Jordy tried to get him on that, but it didn't even work out. 9-point ride, under priority. Sometimes you gotta dig deep into the bag and you come out with that golden nugget, and that's exactly what Yago Dora did. And even more important, after talking with him, is the fact that that gives him so much confidence, because he didn't really even know. He hasn't been pushing himself that hard. So to push himself that hard, to land that air, and to do it in the jersey, that's triple confidence.
Harmony, you don't even hear or feel or see that there are some friction. If there's an harmony in a show, it means there's a balance. There is very, very first a lot of works, because harmony can happen naturally. And in music, when the harmony is happening, for your ears, the frequencies are so perfect that you just feel so good by listening to that. It's very tough to reach harmony. It's years, hours of questioning, of working, of sweat, of failing. It's like seek of perfection. Conducting is a very physical job. It's not just moving with the stick. Expressing with every part of your body the truth that you read between the line. So my movement will always have an impact on the sound. Maybe elegance is more a value for me than beauty can be. In a way, you can fake a little bit. You can make something beautiful, but you take out the makeup, you take out all the artifice, and then you see the real person. So I am more touched by the elegance than by the beauty. Nothing is easy when you try to work with emotions. Why opera and at the same time classical music is still relevant today is the only art that can give you that type of emotion that sometimes words cannot express, visual arts cannot express. It's everything together.
What does the Drakensberg mean to me? Well, in a word, it's widescreen. It's a cinematic landscape. It stretches from horizon to horizon. It's just huge. The mountains here are very distinctive. Their jagged peaks just pierce the horizon, and instantly you know you're in the Drakensberg because no other mountains in the world look like this. Everywhere you look, there's a great shot. The plant and animal life is amazing. I've just been stunned by the variety of birds, and there's such a sense of tranquility. It's just beautiful. The landscape seems untouched, but you look and there's rock art everywhere. It really makes me feel connected to the people who have lived here thousands and thousands of years before. But I think it's those wide open skies of the Drakensberg that will stay with me. That's what I'm going to remember.
June 17th, 1972. One of America's greatest political scandals begins to unfold in Washington, D.C. 5 burglars are arrested inside the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate complex. Lawrence O'Brien, at the time the chairman of the DNC, later says this was no ordinary burglary.
It became clear to us that we were indeed involved in something that could only be described as political espionage.
The Watergate scandal forces Richard Nixon to become the first president to resign more than 2 years later. 1775. During the American Revolution, colonial forces and British troops fight the Battle of Bunker Hill near Boston. The battle, which actually happens on Breed's Hill, is a costly victory for the British, who suffer heavy losses. 1994.
911, what are you reporting? This is AC. I have OJ in the car.
O.J. Simpson is arrested after leading police on a low-speed chase in Southern California. The ex-football player is charged with murder in the slaying of his ex-wife Nicole and Ronald Goldman. Simpson is acquitted at his criminal trial, but he's ordered to pay millions to the victims' families in his civil trial. And 1986.
God bless America.
Singer Kate Smith, best known for her rendition of God Bless America, dies in Raleigh, North Carolina. She was 79. Today in history, June 17th. Camille Bohannon, The Associated Press.
Welcome back in our studio, and in today's news,